that leads us to the question, is aid still needed? We're moving, you saw the aid that was being moved. This isn't a map. You can find this map on the cratesforukraine.com. I think the Voice of Ukraine, I would assume, also has links to this as well. I know many of you are following that. So these are the locations where aid is getting. We're trying to keep up with every delivery. We're able to put pictures either of the aid or aid and the people. You can notice that a lot of these are in the newly liberated areas, but we're moving into the winter. And that brings us to the Crates for Ukraine winter crisis response. And that's the good news, is we're in the final stages, like the very final stages of the beta testing. And so that's what I want to tell you about now. Hopefully you have questions about that. Let me see where I'm going here. So yes, this was a week ago. So these are some of the things, either products from Crates for Ukraine that are sent out in these bags. And these are people in newly liberated areas. And these are the tough spots, like way, way close to where Russian artillery can still hit you. And these are our partners here that drive it in for us. See these guys with the weapons and whatnot. This next one, I believe. Okay, so this is our crates going straight to a hospital. Why do we still have crates if it was such an urgent need? I think that's a good question. Because if the need's urgent, why do you still have crates this time? The challenge is not just that, obviously there are needs everywhere all the time. It's overwhelming, so much so that it's, it's depressing if you think about it. But we're trying to make sure that from the hands of people in the States, it gets to where it is needed, and we're able to confirm and do all that. So we don't give, 50 crates to some place. We're trying to get it more like strategic direct strikes where it's needed. So there was a hospital that needed particular things that we knew we had. We make the arrangements, and we get there's a video of this. There's a van load of crates that go to this hospital. And so that's what we're trying to do, is be faithful to that. And then it fills up the map. And now the question is, now that we're finished with, we're using the crates, we need to start getting more crates in, but we couldn't do it the way we had the initial Crates for Ukraine, where we had people flying to Krakow all the time because it was not sustainable. Now, it was incredible. And I just cannot say enough about the Avenger superpowers that made that happen, namely Beth Stanton, who's got superpowers. Dow doesn't tell me that she's Wonder Woman, but I've never seen Wonder Woman and Beth at the same time. So she could, in fact, be an Avenger. Cindy Ray doing a big part of our beta testing for the last one, and then Bradley Cordell, who does some massive heavy lifting with websites and emails, and he's gracious and generous and keeps it all in perspective. So thank you for those people on the first level of crates. This next level, we have Bradley and Cindy working because we're eliminating the travel section, the courier. So that's what I want to talk about a little bit more. Let me see if there's some questions real quick from anyone. Let me see. Okay, so I think I've covered some of these questions. All right, so now it's time for Crates for Ukraine, the winter initiative. Like, we're ready to begin the registration process. We're waiting for our final tick of the box from our shipping partner. So a lot of the pressure on the first crates was people asking, well, why are you having couriers take stuff over? Like, isn't there a better way to do it? Isn't there shipping or something? Or, you know what I mean? And there's some better way. And no matter how we looked at it, the easiest way to get the products that you could buy in North America to us was to throw it in a crate, fly it over, and walk it right through customs, and we pay no duties, and we drive it right into Lviv, no customs, no duties. So we've been trying to solve that problem. And so I was watching, what's her name? Oh, Cutie McCute Pants. What's her name? She's a Ukrainian girl who's an actress. She's married to that other guy who is also famous. Both of them are so famous, I've forgotten their names. Mila Kunis is her name, Mila Kunis. So she's Ukrainian, and she was able to to raise money in partnership with a company, a shipping company. I can't remember what it was, 30 million or something. And so she said that this freight company that partnered with her was able to get it all the way into Ukraine. I was like, so I was checking into that, because obviously sea freight is not sending it by container on the sea is too slow. It's urgent. We need this, some of this stuff we need like tomorrow. But we can wait a week or two. We just need to keep the flow going. And so we were looking for some air freight options, but it's really expensive. And so I called up Flexport is the name of it. It's a freight forwarding company, and let them know what we were doing. And because Crates for Ukraine was so well organized because of the people previously mentioned, and well documented, and the map that shows that once it gets into Ukraine, it actually goes somewhere. And we have an infrastructure with churches across Ukraine to make use of it. Flexport said that they would work with us, that we send one shipment with them as a test. And if we're able to cross our T's and dot our I's and we're legit, then they will pick up the tab for shipping from then on. Now, what does that mean with shipping? What it means is we would still have crates, we would still pack the crates, but instead of having someone fly them over to Europe, we would just send them to a warehouse in Dallas, or in our case, Dallas or Chattanooga. And we end up getting them all to Dallas, and we call the freight company after we palletize them and put them together. I'll show you some pictures. And then they fly it from Dallas to Vienna, and it goes through their process, whatever, 5-7 days. And then they drive it from Vienna all the way to Lviv. So they take it to my warehouse in Lviv. They take care of all of the customs, all the paperwork. They say, we're going to see. We're trying to send the first test right now. And if we pass, they cover all the shipping. So the shipping could be, for a full shipment, $30,000 per, for like 26 pallets. So that was the big answer. So this picture here we go. Step one, this looks familiar for all you Crates people out there, all you Crates heroes. It's the same before. You go and you sign up, you register online. All that's the same. You collect stuff, you order it from Amazon, it's listed. Don't go off script. You can't go, don't be weird, just buy whatever's on the list. And then here it's step 3, it's delivery. Instead of getting it to Poland, you will get it to Dallas or get it to Chattanooga. There's also an option where you could be a Bradley, can you help me with the language for the church? You could be a church that could be a collection point. I think that's what it's called. So in your city, whether it's Birmingham or wherever, Atlanta, you could be a collection point, and then you could figure out how do you drive these crates to Chattanooga, or how do you get them to Dallas, which is a lot easier than trying to fly to Krakow and back, and a lot cheaper, but not free. But that's the workaround. So that's the big deal. So here's some of the new info on that. Collect supplies, pack the crates, deliver crates to Dallas or Chattanooga. All this information is at cratesforukraine.com. Oops. And then here's a lot of the list. The good news is a lot of the stuff that we were buying and sending, whenever we asked again, what is it that you need? Almost all of those things were still on the list. The only thing we did was add winter-related items. Now, there are some things like winter uniforms for soldiers or generators or whatever that we just were not in the game, and they were being provided. So when we looked at what we could provide, we came up with a few additional winter items. What are those winter items? This is just thermal undergarments, under something. There's a word I should probably use. Thermals. Let's go with that one. There's thermals in different sizes. That looks like that's XL and L and small. And they've been changing the sizes in the States. I think this could probably be a medium. You never know. But there's different sizes. There's thermals. Terribly helpful and helpful for people. My mother-in-law was the other day going around buying blankets so she could give them to people in the church because their temperature is dropping in their house. I'm like, and so thermals will be used for for normal people way away from the front lines, but we'll be sending those to people who have less chance of the ability to have some heat. Here's 0 degree Fahrenheit bags. So these are sleeping bags that can go to people, which can keep you warm. So here are hand warmers. I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory, right? Some of you maybe use those going skiing or wherever you use those. Did I just skip something? Okay, tourniquets. I mean, these are lifesavers. I mean, that is, again, probably the top thing that we get requested for, winter or summer, is tourniquets, because they're saving lives. And sadly for civilians who are being attacked and targeted. So here's some from the beta, just so you're reminded how this process works as a church. And I would encourage you, challenge you, something, to work with your church to lay aside funds, or even this late, the end of the year giving that can go toward this Crates project. I hope people can commit to this and we can get Crates moving early in January so we can get the thing going. But this is where you go online, you buy the products, you pack the crates. I think we're encouraging you to try and at least do 4. The pallets go in 8s, but anything you can do will be a great help. So you order this stuff on Amazon, collect it wherever, someone's house. Hopefully people are praying and engaged from the kids to the owls group or whatever we're calling the wise people this year. And then here are the new crates. Now there's a crate change, Crates for Ukraine. We do not need the heavy duty ones. We're not checking these in. So these are supposedly heavy duty, but they're not the old crates that we had. These have a little more space. They're a little bit easier to handle, and they're lighter for shipping. And we're very particular about that. So it's these particular crates with these particular types of tops. You pack them all up and fit it in. You see this is a life straw here. There's probably some purification pills. These are, I think these are the winter socks that are there, hand warmers, and other products here. And packed away, goes in. This is Park Cities is doing this. Thank you for the photos. You put this thing on top and biggity boggity boom. The church has to figure out who wants to drive these from the church to get them over to the warehouse, which is in Dallas. All the information's on the website. And then some nice person, hopefully with a good back, takes them to the warehouse. And this company, BC Williams, it's a Presbyterian guy, has donated his warehouse space both in Dallas and his warehouse options in Chattanooga. So if we just get it to the warehouse, he will get it from Chattanooga to Dallas, and he will do all the exporting paperwork to work with Flexport to get it to us. So a lot of people pitching in, actually more than you can mention here. So it goes to, this is their warehouse crew. They receive them, and then they will go on pallets. And it won't look exactly like this. There'll be 8. There'll be 8 per pallet. They'll be wrapped up, shrink wrapped. And then when that's ready, we contact the shipping company, Flexport, and then they send it to TSA, or they zap it to something. Who knows what they're doing? But it leaves our control and we get it back in Lviv. So that's the big news. That's what we've been working on. I'm very excited about that part. And I know you might have some questions about that. I do, whenever we officially launch, the registration is going to be open. I would encourage you to go to the site. We're still uploading some information with respect to the Chattanooga details. So you can be a little bit patient on the shipping side of where you take it in Chattanooga. But all of the first step 1 and 2 is very clear. So you can get an idea. All the frequently asked questions are there with respect to cost. What do you buy? Again, I will say only buy the products that are there. Do not slip anything weird in because it could jeopardize the whole process. Just buy what's there. We may add new things to it, but if we do, it will go on the official list. You can buy those products on Amazon, and you get those particular crates. They go. So let me see if we've got some questions here. Okay, for specialized medical stuff, what we're doing is we're not doing that with respect to the crates. Though there are some a bulk of some of the medical stuff there that's going for just basic pain relief and those kind of things. But we're not running specialized meds through this. So Wiley, I'll talk with you about that on the side if there are special medical needs. I do think there is a need. I just got requests for hypothermia bags. So apparently they make these 3-pound hypothermia bags that they're requesting at the front for both military, obviously, but also for civilians. Whenever you are being transported and there's a medical situation, they stick you in this bag and it keeps you from freezing. I didn't even know they existed. But so there may be something like that we may add to the list, but you will see it added to the list. So the way that this is working is if we have, right now, the way it's working is if you want to order things and put them in crates, then you register, you order it, you put it in the crates. And when that is finished and organized and your list has been uploaded, you bring that to Chattanooga. We do not have the capacity at this point for people just to buy products and mail and let's say go on Amazon and buy a bunch of stuff and send it to, Cindy or Park Cities or something. We don't have that yet. Right now, people are registering, taking responsibility to get those things gathered, put them in crates and send it on. If that changes, I'll let you know. If you're interested in being a local drop point for people that may have 1 or 2 crates, but they don't have enough that they want to drive all the way to Dallas or Chattanooga, and your church wants to be that, or your who knows, Sunday school group wants to be a part of that, please let Bradley know. His email address is there on the website. Getting some advice here from Sharice. It's called Long John's. So thank you very much. Long John's. I thought Long John's was a fish place with malt vinegar. So anyway, it was kind of a special place when I was growing up. Okay. So as far as churches in Chattanooga, the reason that Chattanooga is a site, though there are a lot of great churches in Chattanooga, the warehouse that's connected with BC Williams, connected to Dallas, is in Chattanooga. He has a local hub there. So that's why Chattanooga is a location. So any of the churches in Chattanooga would be great if they would want to be a local drop point. Someone else has chimed in with thermal underwear. Very appropriate. Thank you. Okay, so here's a good question. Why collect supplies locally and then transport them to Dallas when we can order supplies on Amazon and have them shipped to Dallas? That's a good question. I guess I could bypass the whole thing and take the aid fund and do it myself. One of the, and that there are different ways to do this. The original idea of the crates was that individual churches, be they small or large, who through this war situation and the need of the church in Ukraine can participate in helping their brothers and sisters in Ukraine. And so this creates a mechanism in which a 3rd grade Sunday school class can collect items, prayerfully put this together, knowing that it's going to be received by the church in Ukraine, and then send it off. So the participation in it and the prayer for it and the connectedness with the church is what we want. Not that the aid is not important and not that efficiency is not important, but we would much rather drop efficiency by several points to engage churches in prayer and participation and making that connection. So that's why we've done it the way we've done it. It's been very encouraging both ways. And so there may be an option down the road where people can point and click and give. I think that's a good one. A lot of people have already pointed and clicked and have given. They're asking for ways they can physically be involved. And so this is a way you can get involved. And we're getting from the first crates very good responses of how this has helped churches that want to participate in God's global mission. This is not the way we want this to be happening all the time, obviously, but this is allowing them to get a view of God's kingdom and his work in his church across the globe, and they can participate in it. So good. Good question. Will crates be sent to Mariupol? Well, that's a good question. You can see on the map that we get things behind the lines. That is what our hope is. Mariupol is getting more and more difficult because it's completely occupied. They're destroying all the evidence of their war crimes. So I'm not sure about Mariupol or Melitopol or Ergodan and all these different places. But we will get them to people who we think are in most need. And a lot of that is along the line of the front lines. Newly liberated cities is definitely a high priority. That being said, even without the war, there are the marginalized, the needy, those who can't take care of themselves in the best of times. I feel like, I'm kind of in that group now. Like it just takes all your energy to just barely get through. So we are seeking to take care of the most marginalized among the displaced as well. So it might be that there's people from Mariupol, the people from Odessa that are fleeing and evacuating. People will be leaving Kherson. A mass amount of people have left Kherson. So it'll be going toward those that are most in need. Now, registration is open. So feel free to go in, check it out, register, enter your information. It's very clear. I tested it personally as a dummy. I was able to just see if it was dummy proof, and I think it's dummy proof. At least that's what smart people tell me. So, so the way that you buy the specific crate required, and you'll see this on the order form, it will show you and give you links that you go on and you can buy. It'll tell you what the crate is, where you can buy it. It'll give you links to buy it. And there are various options of where you can get that, either Amazon or Walmart or Target. So the products and the crates are picked. So we're not going to exhaust the supply. So you can see that. The brand of the crates are Iris. Oh man, that's a very specific question. And Bradley or Cindy will type that here. I think they're Iris 27-gallon heavy duty crates. You can see that on the website. Okay, so the question, what about coats and sweaters? That's a good question. Because we have brought in a lot of coats and sweaters from Poland, because a lot of coats and sweaters are donated in Europe, and we're bringing things in. And that's something to remember, that the Crates for Ukraine is a North American initiative. We are trying to gather things, generators, batteries, stuff like this, coats, boots, things that we can get in Europe and get across here to Lviv and to Ukraine more easily. And so the coats and sweaters department is that one. The stuff that you're sending is smaller items that are winterized, but it's also higher quality stuff that is a little bit harder to find. So that's where we have that. So what is the calendar window for Crates for Ukraine, the winter crisis response? It starts now. The registration's open through March. I think it's March 15th, something like that. I cannot express the urgency. I know churches move slowly, and I think that's, for the most part, very healthy and okay. In this case, urgency. So I hope some of you are hearing this and saying, how can we rally this and set a deadline for ourselves early so we can get things into Dallas sooner rather than later? You could register now and deliver the crates in February. That's a possibility. I'm hoping that you first initial wave folks can really make the push to get some crates going. If you do the crates the first time, you can also kind of reboot and do it again. But the window goes all the way through March. We want to hit the winter situation. And we're hoping that it doesn't get any worse than it is now. But we are in a position to pivot if we need more specific things in the crates. So if you go to Chattanooga, how many crates can you drop off? You drop off the number of crates that you registered. And then whenever you finish packing those crates, you upload that. And then you let people know you're going to deliver. There's delivery times and date. There's only one day you can deliver. So you got to figure that out. And then you take those crates, whether it's 2 crates, whether it's 22 crates, you take them in, they're delivered. You've uploaded your packing list. Bradley keeps track of it, and then you're done. I think you have like a large shake or those bacony the cheese fries thing. What that thing just loads of cheese on fries. I had a very good friend who was an expert in smothered covered stuff with cheese. Anyway, whatever it is you do after you do your work, whether it's at the Waffle House or whatever, that's you go. It's a very easy process. I think I just distracted myself with the food. It's a very easy process to drop the crates off. You follow the instructions of where you go, what times you drop it off, and you'll see that on there. For example, Dallas, it's Thursdays from 8 to 12 and 1 to 3. You drive to this location in Dallas, give them your crates. I mean, be kind, be gracious. And then you upload, you've already uploaded your list, and then you contact Bradley and say, we delivered. And then you're good. Okay, so are the opportunity to send things directly to Chattanooga and Dallas, is that the next step we're working on? And by that, I think that means like just order products and it just shows up. That is not something that I am currently working on due to some of the values of churches being more connected. But I'm not against the idea. But I would have to have a team of people that then gathered, et cetera. So put any good ideas here. We'll filter through them. I think there's some upsides to it. There's some big time losses as well. So does the website provide a list of drop points in different states? Right now, we have the drop point in Dallas. We are hoping to secure local drop point churches. So hopefully that is coming in the future. There could be something in St. Louis, let's say, or there could be one in Pasadena, California, or Wilmington, Delaware. I don't know. If churches say we will accept them, and then they take the responsibility to get them to Chattanooga and Dallas. Right now, there's not more shipping options than Chattanooga and Dallas, but we're still early in this. So that's where we are on that. Okay. So a lot of question about the specific brand of the crates and where you buy them. That's on the website. I think Walmart, Target, Amazon, it's all there, some options.